Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Michael Wickerson here from Wickerson Studios, and I'm building some pretty, kind of chaotic geometries. I just want to show how they're coming together by using C# kind of micro nodes. And I've just generated a whole new series out of the basic C# for GH3D Rhino out of the Warsaw University of Technology. And I literally went a little nuts there. I put in all of their word string, comment lines, functions. I put in all their basic types of data types, importing and string characters, ranges, input and output data. I put in some special, I believe this was kind of complex cases or, complex things as well, which was just, actually, it was just a basic point structure and then a reference and add. I put this in two spots, reference and value type scripts. I put in all the basic operators that I could, so I have those at my disposal whenever I want to go in. I put in all the else if switches that were used. I put in all the loops that I could find, for each loops, while loops, and everything. I put in some special stuff here. I think it was just, special components of sorts, dealing with conversions and things. I pretty much did everything within the course. And then I went through and I did arrays. I did all the things I could do with lists, and then I did a ton of methods. And the methods are going to come in handy to just get information out and start dealing in functions. The classes became a little more sparse, but still there's quite a few in there. Basically to get me so I have the language and the format of how to do it. And then there's a few exercises I tucked in at the end, but I doubt I'll end up using them. I might use a point teller or something like that, so you literally could pull one down and then plug in the inputs. But what I do now is not only have I done it for this Warsaw kind of thing, I also have at my disposal, let's see, I've got a bunch of algorithms here. I think C# algorithms that I was using. I have this crazy one that I'm starting my own half man, half beaver kind of plugin examples. Definitely the Rhino. I have all the examples throughout the Rhino geometry if I want to deal with breps, classes, curves, meshes, points. This has been pretty tedious work, structures and surfaces and transformations and vectors, but I didn't want to have to go anywhere. I didn't want to have to go to the sheet. I didn't want to have to go to GitHub. I didn't want to have to go to other screens. I have everything here for me to work when I want to get busy and make some scripts. I have some additional C scripts here, which were, let me see what they came out of. That was just dealing in the C component, which actually came off a Raiisis site. And I don't think there was anything else. There might be, but this is basically dealing with the Warsaw one. So when I find that W, what I did was I went in, and you'll see exactly what I did. And I'm going to shrink this down so you can see what's happening in the Rhino window as well. The geometry is kind of this curly, whirly piece of paper that's kind of fun and just a surface from points when you're done. But you're going to see I'm dealing with some pretty interesting trees. Now, it is just for visualization and abstraction, kind of getting away, kind of crumpling a piece of paper, thinking things architecturally or formally. A lot to clean up and do things with, but I'm going to show you how I ran the script. So this is my C# script, Wickerson Studios example 4. I put in my plugins. What's nice is when I activate this, actually I'm going to have to take it off. There's a little problem with that. If I go in and activate my bifocals, which I like so well, you'll see all my nodes have what they are. So what I did was initially I went in my random number generator, which generated a series of numbers. And you'll notice that those numbers came out as 3 different values, and I kept it very small to start, just a minimum, maximum, and then a seed that will change 3 numbers between 3 and 2 and 3. And really, it's just a matter of scaling with those numbers, and that's what that's good for. I took 3 of those and I said, let's use the same value with different jitters, the same numbers with different jitters in the X, Y, Z, and produce a point grid. And that's exactly what that did. It pointed a grid of points. Now maybe I should show you just briefly what this one does. And it's right off of the script itself is right here. There's a little more information that you really need to know, but basically you're going in. I like this component message. I didn't know that was possible, but you can definitely go in and make a component message right at the bottom of your components instead of at the top, and I think that's something I'm going to use more in the future. The random generation makes a new random with a seed, and the seed's definitely coming in. Maybe if I just pull this to the side, and maybe get 2 copies, but you can see that I need that seed number. All the other inputs are being listed here. And referenced here, I should say, not by value, but by reference. And then I'm able to take the count, the minimum, maximum, and then I do a for each loop. And what I end up with is a series of numbers, 3 numbers, once again, that come out, and then I'm jittering and jumbling them everywhere. The next C script I plug it all into is this grid of points dimensional array, which is going to make me a pretty cool set of a dimensional array, which basically builds these square kind of block buildings of different sizes because they're all random. One of which is on this path 0, 0, 0, 0 has 12. The other one, next one has 18. The next one has 8. So you're actually building a pretty interesting script of these points, and it's hard to see here because you've got 3 bits of data. So if I grafted them, you see them separately. I took a list count, and basically I just threw them through a polar array, and I took them through a range, which I like to do a lot, so I could actually play with that, open it up, close it all the way. Basically, it's a box structure and data that's running off of, once flattening everything, I'm flattening it all to the same curve, so it wasn't grafted. Comes in as data under an angle, a certain amount of angle to a certain amount of geometry, 38 pieces of geometry to 38 angles, so I'm matching my data structures. I have a 5 count on the rotation, even though I could take that up and start to put in a lot more information if I wanted to. And then I just take that data, do a flip matrix on it because I didn't want to have the lines going flat. I wanted them to go vertical. And I could separate this data with a little bit of path mapper and a little bit of relative items, but I just actually threw a loop through the whole bloody thing just for fun. Just keep it simple. So there was the first generation. This one is another kind of scriggly, scraggly baked form. Let's throw it into a group. And there you go. You get another baked form that you can play with over here. And you're making some pretty cool geometries. And let's just go back in. You'll find that it doesn't always work. It doesn't always make a geometry. So you have to think of that rotation. 5 seems to work for this one, but you have to match your data. Otherwise, if you start changing your domain, you could shrink that one, maybe back to this section. You don't want to have it all the way in around. Yeah, I could just pull that back to have like a little subtle influence on that form. Now, mind you, these are abstract geometries, but then again, I'm a sculptor and I'm used to working in wax and plasters and metal and all this and being happy with quite a few things sculpturally. So let's just grab this last one and do a little quick bake. Group it all. We'll be done with that one. And we'll take it all back in, see what we have. That was going in and using 2 nodes off my shelf or off the ribbon tools that I've taken from the Warsaw University of Technology. And this is the way I'm starting the script to make things. And definitely my Grasshopper scripts are going to be more iterative, have more recursion. They're going to have more pattern, more control. And I could have done it through relative items, path mapper, and all these other things that I think I've played with enough. But I kind of like these forms. Looks like I got a pretty similar form there from the same rotation, so there's not really a point in keeping that one. There's the 2 coming off the same, and what I would end up doing with them, who knows. Let's do a quick analysis, which might be fun. Surface curve analysis on this one, and see what we end up with. There we go. You got some jive and jostling and some pretty irregularities that are going there. And then this one, this should be kind of fun if we take that one over and just throw on a real ugly zebra. And we've done that, and there you go. You've got this nice analysis of what you've done. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's what I'm going to play with for a while when I end up making some forms and getting in the script and data that I really like. I'll start sharing, and I'll probably find out which of these nodes I want to use a lot, which means I'll make them into larger scripts, and they'll become more and more methods, and they'll become bigger and bigger classes, and I'll build my own algorithms. And that's what I'm planning on doing. It's pretty simple. It's pretty curious. I will continue to learn not only how to just use these, but actually go into here and figure out more and more. I like this script because it's kind of nice. And you can see it's this nested loop system that I've done so often in GH Python, but now I'm starting to do it within the run script. And actually, I have nothing additional down here because I'm not dealing in a method or dealing in classes yet. But right now, it's just running as a single script. Nice nested triple loops to get a 3-dimensional array. So that's making a little bit of sense to me, and my eyes are adjusting to the different types of comments, the different type of writing, and the C# writing, which I think is essential for me to learn. Anyway, that's what you do on New Year's Eve when you have 3 kids and they're watching movies in the other room. You just want a nice, quiet night of sitting at home, coding, enjoying life. Here's to 2021, starting in the Midwest in the next 4 hours and 17 minutes. Thanks very much for watching.